are fucking fun, pal. Factor that fucking in to your druggo fucking offensive type. Health fucking warning. There ain't a lot that's fun, pal. Old age and school and dreams of a life that will never be. Sexless nights, wasted schemes. Your horizon still receding. Speeding hope that's fruitless. Sudden cliff and skidding. Then descent to twisted rest.
Sacred temple of the Emperor Buddha, serene and total peace.
So what was your like first exposure to it? Was it like same as me? Was it like fucking Power Slam and the fucking the wrestling channel and all that crap?
100% of the pictures of Power Slam magazine. Then obviously you start getting other magazines, start seeing more pictures from around the world. Fall into the murky world of tape trading.
I was never really involved in that, man. It's like the guy used to live across from my dad, and he used to get busted for fucking growing dope all the time. And he used to get my dad tapes of just like random like Terry Funk matches, and he got me a deathmatch VHS, but it was just random matches for like IWA Mid South and CZW, and that's how I got into. That would have been like 11 or something, like 2001. And I think the first one I saw was like Mean Mitch Page and Corporal Robinson, where they were like, like stapling leeches to each other's heads and things like that, and I was like, this is pretty fucking cool. But then like Power Slam would randomly, they had like pictures from Wife Beater against Zandig. You got a Zandig top on. The match where it got fucking called off, the I Quit match. They had that in Power Slam, and I was like, holy fuck, what the fuck's this shit? But no, it was awesome for like getting into it for that. It's a shame that kind of Power Slam went away.
Yeah, they've got that Wrestle Zone magazine or something to that effect, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
It's just not the same, man.
But we do have that now. We've got the second issue of that. For
I haven't even got that yet.
You not got it yet? Oh, it's good, man. It's good. I did a review for it for Danny for it. But just when he messaged me about that, I was like, that's such a fucking like cool little thing just to like have.
Yeah, it's sick. Hopefully,
you're on the first one as well. I've got that on my wall just for fucking.
Hopefully, more people will get into it and stuff. It's like cool, isn't it? Like 10 years ago, you wouldn't have had any cool shit like that in the UK scene.
No. I mean, that's 2 seconds. I'm just going to turn this light off. It's going to fucking annoy me for the glare. Is that better? See me still? That's not too bad.
Fine.
That's not too bad at all. Right, yeah. And I've asked like I've interviewed like 4 people or something. I was like, somebody asked me to do it, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? I'll just interview people. That's cool. But I interviewed like Thorn and stuff like that, and I was just asking, what's your Mount Rushmore of deathmatch wrestling? And I don't mean like not necessarily like pioneers or whatever, but like your favourites. If you had to pick 4 people.
Or Wife Beater.
Yep.
It's hard, man, because like there's Wife Beater. There's so many like
I know.
errors. I know you said it's not Mount Rushmore, because if it was Mount Rushmore, you'd have to have like very fun.
Onita and things like that.
Then you'd have to have someone from like the C. Only picking one from the CCW era is like a travesty, because obviously
there's so many people.
Zandig,
Yeah.
Lobo, my all-time 4.
Yeah.
Just not even putting historical in it, I would say.
Just your favourites.
What favourite 4? Wife Beater, Mondo.
Yeah.
Massive opponents, Jimmy Mark. That's hard, man. Maybe Foley when he was like one of the first people you find, when that Raw magazine came out.
Yeah.
The second issue and had the King of the Deathmatch pictures in it and stuff, and that's a big deal. And so I guess Foley by default. Not that he's like, well, he is Deathmatch, but
yeah. But he wrote something in one of his books. I mean, obviously he's a legend in that. I remember he wrote something in one of his books where he was kind of like, not chastising people, but he was more or less like saying like, people need to like be careful doing like backyard stuff and yet. And I was like, that was how he got like.
Well, when I met Foley at a show a week before I did TOD, I was like, oh man, like, is there any chance? Like, I know I'm an 01, I know, whatever. Can I get a promo with you? Because I'm in TOD next week. And he's like, man, I can't condone deathmatch wrestling.
Really? Oh.
Of course you fucking can't.
Boo.
Like,
oh, man. Yeah, exactly. But if it hadn't been for death matches, nobody would know who he was.
And then fucking 3 years later, he's putting deathmatch over at GCW because of the fucking payday in it for him.
Yeah, he came out with the belt for that match.
That was so like I thought like the stars aligned. Before TOD.
Yeah. If you'd given him a bit of money, he might have said yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, he probably got pestered a million times on that show by loads of fucking jobbers and shit like me. So you know, like why would you want to do a promo of some straw? But
yeah, maybe he might change this tune now, considering where you are now.
I don't want to do a promo with him. He's no one now, right?
Well, that's true. Like I can fucking see. No, I was just gonna say is one of the.
However, no.
Well, yeah, true. She goes out with that fucking clown guy. I don't know who he is. I know that he's Frank the Clown. Does he wrestle? I just know his name's Frank the Clown.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. But this past year has been fucking massive for fucking you in the States. It's been insane. Seeing you everywhere has been fucking so good, man. It's thing it started in. I wrote everything down this afternoon when I was rewatching GCW. So it was like January 22nd. You were in the fucking Heart Ballroom, which is now the XPW arena, supposedly. I was going to ask you about that. It's so funny. It's so funny, like all that shit that's happened.
I love the Indie Wars. That was like the biggest thing ever when I was trade trader. CZW, XPW, 3PW, all kicking off in Philly. Fucking love that shit.
Yeah, man. And then there was Pro Wrestling Unplugged. Do you remember them?
Yeah, Pro Wrestling Unplugged. The thing is, what I don't get is it's better for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't burn through matches. People can jump shit. Wrestling fans are little bitches and like chatting about the backstage stuff anyway. We love it, right? So you've got all the content, the fucking dream matches. Guys get paid more. Guys don't have to wrestle 4 matches a weekend. Maybe they get paid, you know, things mean more. So it's better I think it's better for everyone.
Yep, definitely, man. It's just, it makes me laugh just because of like me like being like quite a big like fan of like ICW Old Bard and stuff. I'm a fan of XPW as well, but I just want to see people. It's like for Schlack. I want to see Schlack get as much money as humanly possible because he's Schlack.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because God knows there's not enough money in deathmatch wrestling, let alone independent wrestling. Like, fucking get your money while you can, man.
So, but the only one thing about the XPW NHB stuff that annoyed me is it's like you were saying, it's good for guys, more matches, there's more things like that. The only thing that pissed me off is that Schlack didn't get to go to Australia.
Yeah, that's kind of shit.
That was the only thing out of it that I thought that's kind of fucking. But I was going to say tonight. I don't know if you're going to be watching it while you're at work or that. Fucking Homeless Jimmy's back.
Yeah, I know. I will be watching it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, against Eric Ryan.
I'll be watching that.
That'll be good because there's shopping carts and shit. So.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. But with the whole like the feuding thing, like Schlack, like didn't he get offered like his flight paid for to Australia or something?
Yeah.
Like, as a promoter, you just take it, wouldn't you? Think, fuck it, even if I don't want him, if someone's paying for his flight to Australia.
Yeah, exactly. So it just seems really, really petty. But then obviously they're running. This is like jumping ahead on the fight. But anyway, they're running the XPW and NHB are running the same day in New Jersey. But then for me, if I was in America, I'd be going to the show that you're on, which is I don't understand why people are because the NGIs will probably be a bigger show than either of those two shows. In my opinion, for just what it is.
Yeah, of course, that's like a once a year thing, isn't it? I guess with like geography and stuff, you're gonna have your fans in the New Jersey area that you know. I personally, as a promoter, would never run at the exact same time. I'd at least give fans a chance to do double headers. You know, you're just being allergic to money, essentially.
Yeah, run an afternoon or something.
That's
exactly.
The bad side of the feud. That's the stupid part. Like the good part of like obviously guys. There's more spaces now for guys like hopefully like Caden, like Lou, like Darko and stuff, and more roster spots as such. So hopefully some good will come out of it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then you've got things like Drake Younger coming back, which is insane. I can't believe that. I was like, holy fuck. A lot of people don't like him, but
there's a small chance I might be on that XPW show.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
There's Vampiro's on there. I'm a massive Vampiro. And then when I seen him and I was like, well, please, like, I kind of want to be on this show even more now. If I could work that, Matt, like, what a fucking year for me that would be, like, Matt, Drake, the same.
Oh my god, man. So he's
less than a month, maybe, or 2 months, or whatever.
So that's the October, the Halloween show in LA.
22nd.
The 22nd, yeah.
22nd, I think it is.
And then Schlack's against Angel, which I didn't expect to ever see happening. I was like, oh man.
You know someone's coming off something there.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that in my head, because I'm a sad fucking loser mark. See, when somebody announces a building, I'm like, right, go on the internet, find out what the building looks like, and I try and get the geography of it. I'm like, where would somebody come off if we were going to do a spot and things like that? I don't know if anybody else cares about things like that, but I always look and I'm like, so they're there, you can't really do things like that, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter. What was I going to say? But yeah, so that first show this year, when you were in America, you were against Hoodfoot at the Heart Ballroom. That was fucking awesome. You were fucking covered in blood as well at that fucking show. What was it like fighting Hoodfoot? Because he's somebody that's been in like the last years, like really like come up out of nowhere.
He was like, when I got booked against him, he was kind of like the hot name in deathmatch wrestling, you know. So for me to go against him was nerve wracking. I've never met him before. Never really done anything in that ring with the chains. You know, I didn't really get in and roll about. You just don't do that in deathmatch. And to be on, like, I think I was on like 7. There's already been 7 matches, and like I'm still a believer of it's a hat on a hat. So like, by 7th match, what the fuck can I do? Outshine these guys that have worked each other every other weekend. You know, and probably know each other. So my fucking asshole was like this, you know.
Yeah.
I was nervous, but I think it came out okay. Like, we both bled a lot. Which hid the lack of actual wrestling.
That's what a lot of people want to just see. Well, the thing is for him, I'll bring up Tremont later on. The amount of fucking dangerous cuts that man's had to his body is fucking insane. Huge, big gaping holes in his arm and that.
Real shit luck, hasn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like in a way, it's I don't know if like people expect him to do that now, because it is obviously it's dangerous as fuck and you don't want him to get hurt. But like as a visual thing, it looks kind of cool when somebody gets their arm fucking sliced open in half. But you know what I mean?
Like fans, like you kind of subconsciously appreciate the fucking hardship that he's gone through. Like this motherfucker's cut his arm, and you know, like he fucking really loves this business.
Yeah.
You can say what you want about his whatever if you're like a wrestling purist, but he fucking loves it. You can't take that away.
Yeah.
Fans appreciate that. Same with Tremont. Obviously, fucking he's a lifer, isn't he? So.
Well, yeah, exactly, man. Well, that's the thing is, the Deathmatch Outlaws brought out that fucking Hoodfoot. It was a Marcus Crane t-shirt, but the money went to Hoodfoot. I got one of them, so yeah. I was trying to help that when everybody, like, I sponsored fucking, like, Heidi Katrina when she hurt her, I think it was her leg. She fucked her leg up, I think.
Well, it was her arm.
It was her arm, yeah. She had, like, a thing. So, I don't mind, like, giving money to people like that, because, like, people, like, you know, nearly die for my entertainment. I don't mind giving somebody, like, $20 fucking dollars to help out and buy a t-shirt, you know what I mean? What was I going to say? And then, was it you were, like, in fucking the US again, like the next month. You were like right over, because it was in February. You were wrestling for RPW and then you were wrestling for NHB.
Yeah.
Again. So what was it like wrestling fucking John Wayne Murdoch? Because you're gonna fight him again at the end. I can't wait for that.
Yeah. I mean, it was fucking sick because he is like one of the top guys in the game. Like at the minute, I'd say it's Murdoch, Tremont, Gage, right?
Yep.
Tried that Alex Malone as well, but since worked him. So like that was a big deal to work him, and he was like, you wanted to do something special for Marcus, so we had like the ice.
Yeah.
I think we went out, and it went from like, you got 20 minutes to just as we're about to go out, oh, you got 12 minutes. Just as the music's playing, like, if you could go home at 8, we'd really appreciate it.
Why did they cut it? Because were you guys main event?
Yeah,
I think you were main event, yeah.
I was saying we were main event, we were on last.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, it's IPPV, I don't know why you'd have to cut it, but I guess they did. Like, they wanted to clean up between shows, maybe.
Yeah.
Or something. So that was a match I'm very much more looking forward to now, because hopefully we get to go all out and no time cut.
Hopefully he's back for then.
Yeah.
Because I seen that, because I was when he announced, somebody messaged me and they were like, yeah, by the way, Murdoch's like hurt. I was like, oh, I just assumed they were like, he's not going to be there for like a day or something. But I was like, now he's not on the GCW shows, he's not in fucking Australia. I was like, he must be hurt pretty bad. So yeah, hopefully he's like okay.
He fucking killed it in Japan.
That was awesome, yeah.
And he got hit right in the sternum by the looks of things. So,
that was an awesome 3 shows or 5 shows that they were on in Japan.
Yeah, that sort of like, if you get hit in the rib, you can be as tough as you want. If you can't fucking breathe, you can't really do much, can you?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a shame, because obviously how often is he going to get to Australia, but I mean, Japan is like the holy grail.
Yeah, exactly.
Respect to Australia, but
I mean, he got to wrestle fucking Takeda and Kasai.
Exactly.
And yeah, exactly. So it's not too bad. But I mean, hopefully we'll get to go there next time. And then that night as well, you're against Dale Patricks at NHB 22. I think Dale Patricks gets kind of like I don't think he gets like underappreciated, but I just think people are just actually Dale Patricks. I think he's fucking awesome. He's always there. He always goes 100%. I don't think he gets as much love as he maybe should do in the States anyway.
He is really good. Super cool guy. One of the guys in deathmatch that can do like it all, you know. And he's quite like a good-looking guy. He's not used to stereotypical like fat slob deathmatch.
Is that how you expect everybody to be a fat slob?
Well, you know, deathmatch wrestlers aren't the best-looking people. I mean, thank God for girls with blood fetishes. And
well, yeah. There's a lot of strange, interesting women at deathmatch shows. No. And he does wear that horrible jacket. If ever I get to speak to him.
I don't like the purple one.
Just because it looks like really old. Maybe it's like a gimmick, but
it's supposed to look like Gambit, right?
Yeah, for X-Men, yeah.
From X-Men, I'm not a comic book person, but
either am I.
I think it's just a case of like no promoters pulled the trigger on him, which is a shame. Or if they have, they're not like a promotion where it's got the internet presence that me and you were gonna talk about it, because he's a fucking talented guy, so I don't really know what the deal is there. Like, perhaps he's not best friends with the booker, or
I think there was meant to be a show he was on with NHB, but when they were doing the Deathmatch Circus, and he was meant to fight Murdoch or something for the belt. Then there's like a big massive fucking thunderstorm, and they had to have it in like a tiny barn. And I think they were maybe gonna like make him have him win, but then it was kind of like the show kind of got fucked over with rain, and they just kind of cut it. But who knows?
So I remember when he was like doing more comedy, sort of light-hearted stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think like I'll do comedy stuff a lot on family shows because I can't do the deathmatch stuff. But I don't think comedy and deathmatch is too. You can have a comedy spot, but you can't be like a comedic deathmatch wrestler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you become more serious, I think was the turning point.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I don't really have an idea why.
I saw that family show where you guys, it was on the Rise Patreon thing. It was you, Semtex, Lou, Darwin, and Danny went to I don't know what show it was, but you're like getting all the kids to like hit Darwin with fucking things and shit. That was a good, interesting little video. Kayfabe though, I was like, oh, you shouldn't be showing that. Did you see the whole thing?
Which part?
It's like, so it's obviously they've got the thing coming up with obviously there's like the BTT are against you guys.
Yeah.
But they were like kind of showing before, like they were showing the lead up to like when they were doing the promos, which is fine. It's fine for like fans and stuff who just want to watch the Patreon, but I was like, maybe you should show that like after the match. Maybe, but I don't know.
I get that. That makes sense.
It's still interesting for me. It's still interesting for me, but you know.
Yeah, I think like I would find that shit interesting.
Yeah.
And like Rise is so like no one that watches Rise believes it's real, right?
No, yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. But I was like, wait, hang on a minute. I was like, I would
know
have.
What you mean? Like maybe put that footage out after the feud's done. But
Yeah. But it was entertaining. It was entertaining nonetheless. But I just remember seeing that and I was like, hang on a minute. It's a bit strange, but anyway, whatever. Then what was it going? So then you.
To be fair as well, Rise Patreon's probably only got about 12 people that are gonna. You know what I mean? The rest
I'm part of.
So who's realistically gonna see it?
I'm part of Rise's Patreon. I got a random thing from Patreon, this little box, and I was like, "What's this?" I was like, "What? Who have I?" Because there's like a few different Patreon things. I was like, "Somebody sent me something," and it was this big. I'll get it just now. Wait, 2 seconds. And it was this huge box, and there was one thing in it, and it was this. That was it. I was like, okay, fair enough. Thanks for that. But no, yeah. But I mean, the Patreon is good for stuff like that. It's handy, but I just thought that was strange. But then I was going to say, then the next night you were at Horrorslam to fight Jeff King, and I loved your promo before that, like talking about all his kids and shit. That made me laugh. That was really, really funny. I'm sure Danny Douglas sent me a clip or the full match of that because somebody recorded it for Horrorslam.
Yeah.
But did you like that match? I think Jeff King's a good wrestler, but he's never usually like turned up to stuff.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. I don't really know what the deal is there. He's a fucking interesting guy. That was an okay match, you know. Wasn't recorded properly, which I hate. Like I always said before about death matches, like I will never do a death match if it's not recorded properly.
Okay.
And just found out they have like a random fan recording it who's got like a YouTube channel. Yeah,
fucking cool.
His reactions.
I remember speaking to you and Darko and stuff at the KCW show, and obviously you two guys are like really, really big like WCW fans. Like I never really got to watch WCW when I was growing up, to be honest. It was never on in my house, so I only just caught it in like in magazines and stuff. And then I like by the time it was dead, like I was like, all right, and that was WCW. Now I've went back and subsequently watched pay-per-views and stuff like that, but I was never really like into WCW. But I can see it could be a massive big fucking deal for you guys for fucking Buff Bagwell to be there. That's insane.
Yeah, the absurdity of like I'm swinging light tubes and they're heading in his direction. And
Yeah.
just thinking like, what the fuck? Like, what is this fat guy in pants everywhere in front of 30 people in Detroit? You know, it's just, I love how shit it is all at the same time.
I went to TOS 4 and I was speaking to Marcus Crane and somebody else, and just Jimmy Hart walked past in the background looking all sad and miserable with his suitcase and just kind of, and I didn't speak to Jimmy Hart, but it was kind of cool that he was there. I was like, why is Jimmy Hart at TOS? I think it was like Funaki was there, and like, oh, what's the name of that Japanese guy that worked for WWE for a while? He does the Go to Sleep, Kenta.
Right, yeah.
They were all there, sitting there like a little table, just kind of sat back with like their merch and stuff, but nobody was going like near them and stuff. It was quite bizarre, like a deathmatch tournament. But oh well.
Yeah, that's funny.
Then you were at fucking XPW's King of the Deathmatch, if that's a legal name. Did you see Ian Rotten's thing online?
Oh, hilarious! Like, you couldn't work for him if you wanted to. You just get blackballed.
Did you see the little picture somebody made of a fake show, and people thought it was real?
Yeah, like everyone has cancelled was on there.
I was like, how could you possibly think that was real? I was quite funny though. Yeah, everybody was like,
good. And the thing with Ian Rotten is, give me credit, he came back quicker than I thought he would. I thought years.
Oh yeah. But he's already sold the rights to King of the Death somehow. I don't know how that works.
That's like the toilet paper contract, right? Like,
I don't.
How can he possibly sue you for that?
I don't understand. I don't understand why. I can understand like feasibly why you would want King of the Death matches, and they got the Ted Petty as well, supposedly. But like, why not just call it something else? Make your own tournament. Why?
Or just steal it and tell him to suck your dick.
Yeah, well, the XPW's tournament.
Job at Taco Bell. How is he going to get a fucking lawyer?
Well, yeah, that's true. Apparently, had a lawyer for when he was trying to pay everybody back.
Noob, right?
Yeah. But that was ridiculous. But I think it's just trying money. But then you worked for XPW for their King of the Deathmatch tournament, which was a quick show. Watching that live.
7.5 hours.
Jesus Christ.
I think by the time I went off my last match, I checked the time in England. That was like 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. It was a long night. Because I remember sitting up, because obviously you're in the tournament, so I was like, right, it's in LA, it's going to start late. I was like, right, I'll sit up because Joe's going to be in the tournament and see how far he went. And then, yeah, it finished about 9. I was like, fucking hell, it was a long night. Like, but it would have been like fucking even longer for you guys fucking being there for ring clear-ups and just everything. But still, it was a good tournament. It was a good tournament. I enjoyed it.
I thought it was a good tournament. Hopefully more people get to see it. Like,
yeah.
But the heat aside, because there was some good guys in it and some interesting, matchups. The crowd were hot as well, so.
Fucking, you against that Terex I thought was awesome. A lot of people didn't seem to like him very much because obviously he's replacing Tremont. I thought he was good.
He was good, yeah. He fucking took a pasting.
Oh,
what could you want?
You beat the fuck out of him with light tubes. I was like, this is fucking really entertaining. I enjoyed that match. I'm sure he wrestles for CCW, Crimson Crown Wrestling, I think. I've seen him before.
Yeah, he does. And he does stuff like Juggalo Championship Wrestling. So I met him at the Gathering. That's what I went to.
How was the Gathering?
Cool to be like, wrestling at XPW like years later.
How was the Gathering when you went to that?
Fucking insane. Insane. Like, within 10 minutes of being there, I was getting like a 6-foot bomb.
Oh, God.
Dabs for the first time ever, and there's like bare knuckle boxing on in the afternoon, and no police. It's fucking the best. Everyone needs to go to one. Yeah,
for the guy. I sort of fell out with them when I got like slightly older, and like I sort of like went into like different things and fucking being a nerd and like watching their stuff. I always remember the Great Malenko. Is that the one that's like black and green? Yeah. I always remember I had that on CD. I used to listen to that on like a little Walkman thing before people had like iPhones and all that sort of shit. But I used to quite like the ICP, but then I just sort of... But they've been releasing music for like fucking 25 years, more than that now.
But I don't think you need to like them to go to that festival. If you
no,
seeing fucked up shit. just with cool people.
Yeah.
That's definitely,
And there's wrestling there too.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad. Then you're against Terex in the first round, and I can't remember how long it was, how long you had to wait. What's that building like, by the way? Because obviously it's like outside.
It's weird because it's like a fucking kind of like not a casino, like a betting hall, like a really high night, like upmarket one for English terms.
Yeah.
It's just full of like old people betting on horse racing, old people and Asian people betting on horse racing from around the world, all at different times. And then they've got like an outside patio that every week holds like 1 week's boxing, the next week's like fucking girls oil wrestling or midget wrestling or some gimmick.
Yeah.
Then I'll have like XPW and stuff. It's like it's really surreal venue. Like way too nice to let us walking around.
I like it. I liked it. There's like a picture of, I think it's either you're in it, I think, or at least it's Shane Mercer and like Schlacker sitting in this sort of like hall with like all these seats, and they're just kind of sitting on the seats back, and I'm like, that doesn't even look like it's part of the same building because it just looks like outside.
That's when I have like a massive bingo game or something.
Oh, okay.
Like the equivalent of like a mecha bingo or something. Like highbrow, you know.
A highbrow mecha bingo, that's fine.
Yeah, it's fucking surreal. Like, and they're so laid back. They let everyone smoke weed in the car park. Fucking guys covered in claret walking around. You know, insane. I love it. Fuck
yeah, man. But then I was gonna say, then your next match was against Necro Butcher, which was insane. I couldn't believe that happened, and I was like, this is like, I was sort of surreal watching it for like seeing you fight him, and then obviously the barefoot shit, and I was like, oh no. And then the match went like 2 minutes, and you pretty much knocked him out.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, it was insane though. It was just like the Necro Butcher against Big Joe. I was like, I did not expect this to happen in my wildest dreams.
The hardest punch I've ever had in a wrestling ring, or like in my 15 years of work indoors. Yeah.
Oh god.
The fucking hardest punch. Like, I can't even sell it. It's like, a fuck's sake.
But did you enjoy it for like as short as the match was though? Did you enjoy it? Aside from getting punched.
Insane.
Yeah.
Like insane. Like, you know, I was a kid tape trading Necro. You know, obviously you went to watch the wrestler at the cinema.
Yep.
He's got such a big part of that. Just grew up loving him. So to get to you know, go on with him was fucking mad. And then the barefoot thing wasn't even planned.
Remember you told me that.
He was ribbing me. I'll find out next time I see him, because when I went out, there's all this glass in the ring. I'm trying to kick it out of the ring, you know, because he's barefoot. I give him a chance. And then he comes in and asks me to take my shoes off. So I'm like,
you have to do it now.
So with the heel, you know, I could have pushed out, but I was like, it's fucking Necro Butcher.
Yeah, fuck it.
So why not?
Oh, I liked him when he did that gimmick in The Wrestler when he was in CZW and he was like a movie star and he wouldn't do like hardcore matches and shit. I used to enjoy that. Necro Butcher's a very, very underrated character in wrestling. Not just for his matches, like just for his character and things like that.
Yeah, I agree.
But you'll see him at TOD, because you're in the next TOD as well.
Yeah.
That's insane as well. Because in my head I was like, weren't you in the last TOD? And you were, because it was like, because of obviously COVID and everything, you were in the last TOD against Cass. Yeah.
Best TOD of all time, in my opinion.
The worst TOD?
Yeah, probably. Not saying it was a bad show, but just in order of TODs, I'd say it's probably not one of the better ones.
I always like 5. I've always thought 5's, but a lot of people don't like 5. Or 5 and 4, maybe.
I was told that the commentary is the worst commentary in the world ever.
It can't be as bad as the commentary on TOD 6. Do you remember that?
I can't remember it being as bad as... It's pretty much like fucking XPW commentary badge.
Do you not like Chris Claus? I think he's really funny.
Not current XPW.
Oh, not current XPW. Okay. Yeah.
Cat Martini and Cross.
Yeah.
But I mean, like old XPW.
Yeah. I know what you mean. That's the thing, is wrestling commentary is a difficult thing to get right, especially with death matches. It annoys me sometimes in, like, I don't know if TNT or previously or there's another company that are like annoying for it, where people are commentating on death matches, but they're acting as if they've never seen a death match before, and it's every single thing. It's like, oh my god, it's like you kind of, I don't know. It's difficult to describe.
What I hate with commentary of death matches is when they don't commentate on the gimmicks. Like, do your homework. Like, go around the ring, ask the guys what they're doing, what weapons they're using. Because, like, I remember once we used razor wire, which had never been done in England before.
Yeah.
The commentator didn't even fucking... It's just like... he's got something there.
Was that against what show was that at the Outlaw Cup? I remember Razor Wire at that. It was you Darko, and then Lou Caden, and then the finals was 200 light tubes.
Yeah.
That was the first time. That was the first Rise show I ever went to.
Okay.
Because I only found out about you guys in like 2000 because of you being in TOD. I found out about. I was like, oh, Big Joe, and then I was like, all right, there's a UK scene. Because for a little while, like, it was kind of, if you didn't know Rise, you would never have known what it was.
It's still pretty much the same case now.
Yeah.
Badly.
But then it was kind of like, I was like, all right, yeah, I want to go to a show and stuff. And then the pandemic happened, and I was like, okay. And then the first show I got to come to was the Outlaw Cup. But yeah, you used Razor Wire for that, and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, because that's fucking dangerous as shit. But
yeah, there's been a few times, like, I've seen in death matches in England where the commentary's just not got it, or, like, not made how, like, serious the situation is.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, don't be joking over a death match.
No, exactly. I know what you mean, man.
That's like taking the heat on themselves and stuff. I hate it.
And then was going to say, then the next match you're in at fucking XPW was Masada, which was great because Masada's awesome.
That's fucking mental.
Yeah, yeah. I was like genuinely concerned for your safety towards the end. I was like, oh god. But yeah,
me too.
Masada's fucking awesome. What a fucking really. He's the sort of definition of when you seem the sort of person that like you'd be like terrified to like meet him. At least I would. But fucking, he's a scary man. But fucking,
he is legit, man. But also, I said Necro was the hardest punch I've ever had in my whole life.
Yep.
Masada was the hardest swing of a light tube I've ever had.
Oh god, yeah.
Which I'm not complaining because I think it, as you see with Matchamon's face, like, you're gonna swing a tube, fucking swing.
I couldn't believe that because I was watching that live and I was like, I seen that and I was like, you did the cannonball into the Tokyo Tower and then either he moves or something and then it was like a swipe and I was like, oh Jesus, it was like 30 seconds into the match. I was like, but the match was still awesome anyway, but at the end of it I was like, holy fuck, his face, because you even pointed to him in the ring. You were like, you know, yeah. What did he?
Worse and worse, like, I use the coat hangers and stuff.
Yeah. Oh man, it was really. I mean, it's obviously dangerous as shit, but it was cool. Did he say anything to you like after that, or was because?
Nah, he was cool as fuck. He was just said thanks for the match. You know, had fun. Definitely need to do it again. So I'll probably get my receipt if there's a round.
Well, yeah. Well, that's another thing.
He did get me good with those chair shots. So
yeah, they were nasty fucking chair shots. That's the only thing I was going to say is for the Rise shows, I've got the whole week off for the February shows. I am scared to see how busy it's going to be in that Iger Studios for the first two. It's going to be a tight fucking.
Why would you put it there?
I don't know. That's what I don't understand. I could think of like, I think maybe it's just because they're trying to keep it in the same city.
Yeah, probably.
But I mean,
it'll definitely sell out though. At least the Iger's going to sell out, right?
Well, Games of Death, fucking hell, that was Games of Death 2. Sorry, when you were against Schlack. I was at that show. I was fucking wrecked.
Yeah.
I remember like there must have been about 300 people there. I don't think it can hold that many.
Fucking horrible venue, man. Like, there's no toilets upstairs, and like Dan, the promoters, always forgets to even bring a fucking piss bottle. So you constantly like have to remind yourself, like, we need to get.
So do you guys have to come down and go to like the public toilets then? Yeah, fucking hell.
Yeah, like, do you really want to do that when someone else is having a match, or you're a surprise run-in, or you know?
Just have to piss in a bottle. Yeah, that's kind of shit. I would have thought there'd been like a tiny toilet upstairs or something. I didn't know that. Fucking hell.
No, not even a fucking bucket. No,
not even a bucket.
Piss in, pal.
What do you usually do then if you've got buildings where like you don't have a shower? What are you?
Fucking nothing. Just baby wipe and use the fucking look at the taps.
Yeah, just kind of do. Yeah. I fucking hell.
At Kumite, I was like, I have to do that, you know.
Oh yeah, and the sinks and the fucking toilet. That's a nice venue. Well, I mean, kind of deathmatch venue. I mean, like in the way that it's kind of scuzzy and horrible.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's cool. I like the Vines beer garden for when I was there. But yeah, but I'll be all those shows for the Rise thing. But that's going to be a fucking long weekend. But I think I don't know if it's been officially announced by anybody, but it was announced by Matt Tremont and Danny DeManto on that Facebook thing that Tremont's coming over with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know if anybody's like put it out like officially or if somebody's actually said it.
Graphic.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Have you heard any word of anybody else that's going to be coming over, or is that all secret?
No, I would guess ICW kind of need John Wayne Murdoch.
Eric Ryan, probably.
Eric Ryan, especially because he's not been over, you know. You need like guys that haven't been over, like John's been over at TNT or whatever, GCW. I would say you need Cruel.
Cruel's, mate. I was speaking to Neil Diamond Cutter about that. I was like, I don't know why they've not booked him against Neil. It writes itself.
Yeah, I know.
But you against Cruel would be an interesting match.
Like, how many fights are you talking?
What for?
How many got, like, would you say, like, to pick? Like, you want at least 6?
I would say 6, but then if you're going to include probably Danny himself, who counts as a wrestler, and probably, like, I'd imagine he'd bring over somebody like Struggles or Legend or someone.
You'd have to bring over Casey.
Have to bring Casey over, yeah.
Probably both the cats, really.
Well, that's the thing is, one of my friends speaks to him quite a lot. Apparently, he doesn't. If one of them's on a tour, the other one has to like look after their dog and shit. So they both can't tour at the same time. So I don't know.
Because ICW's got a thing where they've made so many of their own guys. I would say. They're really important to their brands, like Kirk's, Cruel, John Wayne, you know, Akira.
Yeah, Akira's probably going to obviously be over.
Hard one.
Yeah,
I'd like to see Akira Darko too. 100%.
That'd be good. That'd be good, because I enjoyed the fuck out of that match. I was fucking marking it like fuck. It was great.
Yeah, me too.
Were you watching from the little fucking peep hole?
I was watching from the curtain.
Yeah, I seen that. That was a really good fucking match. What was I going to say? And then from that XPW Deathmatch Tournament where Schlack wins the belt. So what was your overall thoughts on that whole show? Was it just like a complete mindfuck for like all the things that happened, or did you enjoy it?
I fucking loved it, man. It was a mindfuck at the same time. It's like 7.5 hours. So it's a gambit of emotions of like being sore, being like high on life from your match, to being like, you know, trying to stay awake because you lost so much blood. You got to it's definitely something though. The after party was just.
Oh god, yeah, I can fucking imagine. I was listening to Rob Black's podcast thing the other night, and like he's an interesting, funny guy, but he takes a fucking long time to get to the point of anything.
Yeah.
Goes on, and because it was like the whole podcast was set up. It was like an hour. The whole thing was set up to talk about Drake Younger, and I was like, right, I want to hear what he's talking about Drake Younger. And it was maybe 48 minutes in, he spoke about Drake Younger, and I was like, all right, I don't really, I'm not that interested in all the other sort of stuff. Just tell me about Drake Younger.
He's definitely a character, you know, like a walking gimmick, and I love those sort of like, you just don't see him in everyday life.
Yeah,
like, few and far between.
How's that the guy that always works with him? That guy Will, he's quite good. I like him. He's an interesting guy.
Will.
Yeah, I assume he does quite a lot of like heavy lifting for them, for like backstage and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and then the next show you did in America was XPW again. Was Beautiful Disaster with all the ladies, because I remember you had that T-shirt when you were at the Kumite. Did somebody buy that? I assume somebody would have bought that.
I
can't remember. You got an XPW T-shirt I got off you that I've wanted for fucking years and years and years, and I was so happy that you fucking brought them back over.
I still haven't got one myself.
So always just message them and be like, give me a T-shirt.
I always check my bank balance and I always end up selling them.
But you were against Schlack on that show, which was awesome. But there was a bit in that match where you're outside. I don't know if Schlack's like attacking you or you're attacking Schlack, or you've done like a suplex or something, and like you're outside, and like a guy from the crowd just kind of runs out with a chair, like he's not like running like aggressively, but he's kind of running with a chair like he's drunk, and I was like, oh Jesus Christ.
It was hilarious.
It was hilarious, but I was expecting you and Schlack to beat the fucking shit out of him for like doing that, because there didn't seem to be very much like security or.
I was going to get the mic and call him out and have a fight with him, but I couldn't get a mic. But to be honest, it adds to the chaos. Like,
yeah.
Love that shit, like, because it's like, obviously it was legit, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't see that in every match.
True,
it
yeah.
just added to the match, like, we've wrecked the whole fucking arena, bled everywhere, fans are trying to hit us, like, almost like he was like a pantomime villain, you know, like creeping up.
Yeah. And then
which made it more comical.
It was just strange. I was just like, because for the amount of like money that Rob Black has and things like that, I was like, why is he not paying security? It seems very odd for like.
There was security there.
They just didn't seem to do their job very well.
It's part of the show.
Oh yeah, true. Because I don't know if that was the same show. There was a big chair riot. No, that was the show afterwards. It was Necro against Schlack. They had a big chair riot.
They did it in the Masada.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah. People just lobbing chairs, and Rob Black comes out and shouts at everyone. And I was like, surely there must be some sort of security, but whatever. It was entertaining.
Yeah, that was a fun match.
It was really good.
Long.
Because I felt that your match, Rise, I felt like that was fucking one of the best matches of that tournament for you against Schlack. That was fucking awesome. I loved that match. Aside from like the unbreakable glass.
I think that's what made it. The unbreakable glass.
Yeah.
Again, like adds to the mayhem of something that's already chaotic.
Yeah.
So.
I felt bad for that tournament because I brought the shower door that Iceman went through when he fell on the outside and got hurt, and I felt kind of bad. Yeah, I know. I said that to him at the Outlaw Tournament. I was like, sorry about that. I don't think it was the glass. I think it was more like falling straight to the concrete floor. But
it was the bump.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, Jesus Christ.
These guys be doing shit like that.
Yeah, definitely. That was before we move on to like more of the for the Tremont match. I was so fucking pissed off, man, that you got fucking stuck in fucking Florida because of that fucking the Hurricane Ian, which is kind of like mildly amusing, the name of it. It was funny because it was called Ian. I was like, Ian's fucked over Joe, and you've not like even like worked for him. I was like, oh God's sake. But yeah, how was that? Because I remember messaging you and you were like, man, I'm just so fucking bored. Like, what did you have to do? You're just like,
just fucking stay indoors with 3 kids.
Oh man, yeah, that's
the news telling us we're all gonna die. Big flow past, and it was such a shit holiday because they didn't want to go anyway, right? So
yeah.
It takes fucking 3 young kids, especially one that's like 1.5, 2.
Yeah.
It's stupid, right? So not only do I have to deal with that, the airline lost my youngest daughter's clothes, all of them.
Really,
so I have
fuck's
to go back
sake.
and forth to the airport twice to find a case that's just not there. And then I get fucking stuck in a hurricane. I was so wanted to smoke a joint with Rob Van Dam, you know.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, that's true,
I
man.
had the first one PW show as well. I was there as a punter.
Yeah.
I really wanted to be there.
It's never. I remember watching. Am I thinking of 1PW or am I thinking of FWA that had? It was Carino against Abyss. Was that 1PW?
Yeah, that was 1PW.
That was 1PW.
Yeah.
I was kind of getting them mixed up. Who was it that ran FWA? Was Alex Shane. Alex Shane,
I loved FWA as well.
Yeah, me too. But they kind of fell away. They were like really big at the same sort of time, and they had lots of like flying guys.
Yeah,
at
they
the
were
same.
The ones that started that whole sort of the fly-in.
Yeah, because Paul Burchill was with them to start before he went to WWE and became like a pirate and all that sort of shit. Yeah. But like when you were stuck in Florida, man, I was so pissed off here. I was like, oh, that's so bad. Because I remember when I was really young, like my mum and shit, they took us to like Florida when I was like 8. I don't remember any of it, but it was like a big, massive like family like holiday and shit. And for it to get ruined like that, man, that sucks like shit, man. It's so bad.
Because it's annoying. Because the first ever show I went to was the first ever Smart show I went to, not a holiday camp show. Had RVD and Sabu in it. It's a Valentine's Day Massacre. So obviously doing XPW, I got to speak about it with Sabu and like, you know, hang out and, you know, smoke and chill with Sabu, right? So
that's so cool.
Massive full circle moment. And then to be at a show where I could meet RVD as well and, you know, hopefully
smoke a joint. Yeah.
And it's fucking took from me.
I was going to say,
and the match looked fucking sick as well.
That is
clicked on like all the pages and stuff. I'm thinking, fuck.
That bump that Devlin took, I was annoyed because like people were putting it on like they're like, oh my god, he missed the thing and blah blah blah. That's a big fucking drop, and obviously they were meant to put like they put Jack and Clint on the tables because the table breaks under Jack. There's not another table for him to land into.
100%.
So that's why, like, he still hit him. Like, he still. I mean, I don't know how bad his fucking arse is after that, because that looked very, very painful.
Okay. He sent me a video of him walking normally.
All right, that's okay.
So.
But like, obviously they're meant to have the 2 tables there for the second table to catch his fall. So it's not as if it's not their fucking fault. Like he could have just been like, nah, I'm not doing it. But like, why would you just?
All those fucking morons that commented on it, like they would have fucking jumped. They wouldn't have jumped off that into a fucking swimming pool.
That was a high dive. That I've never been to the Doncaster Dome.
I wouldn't do that. Devlin's fucking mad.
Yeah.
And again, it adds to it. Like, wrestling real, not everyone's going to fucking end up like a video games. If someone does jump off a balcony, sometimes they're going to land on their arms.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Because it was just a shitty table or... Like, yeah, because obviously...
More people are talking about it, though. More
Yep.
people are talking about it. It went kind of wrong, and then if it went right, it's been another senton bomb.
Yeah,
table, right?
exactly. Did you see Jack going through the guardrail? That looked fucking painful.
Yeah.
Betting half. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. But what was I going to say? I'm just going to go for the Gage Moxley match.
I've not seen the match. I'm going to watch it after this. I'm pretty much sure I know who wins.
Yeah, I won't ruin it. The only thing I will say is there's a guy in the crowd at the back because for some reason they didn't book the fucking showboat, which I thought was pretty shady, and it's outside.
Yeah, because showboats go more family friendly.
But they're in the showboat. They're in the showboat tonight, though.
Do you reckon they sold more tickets?
I think that they said that it was going to be there and they didn't book it ahead of time, and something's come in and they're like, oh, sorry, so it was like the day before. It's like the middle of fucking October. Like, you know what I mean? Nobody wants to stand outside, but there's a guy in the back. You'll see him on the hard cam. He's holding up a sign, and it says, "I quit my shoot job for this."
I did see that.
And I thought, why are you calling it a shoot job? I mean, it's fine if you're a wrestler. It's fine to say that, but in general, it's...
Yeah, that's what my friend sent me. That screenshot saying I fucking hate fans.
I don't understand that. It makes no sense. But the match is, a lot of people are giving the match shit. I'll wait until you watch it. Obviously, saying stuff about like Gage. You're like, oh my god, he's done death matches.
I would guess Gage went over. I would guess Gage went over. It doesn't matter if you told me. I don't really care. I guess Gage went over to there, showing all the fucking training videos and stuff. And obviously, you know, Mox came in. They're only going to keep him there for so long.
Yeah.
The other thing. So, but Gage is getting older. But you don't need to do all that shit. Because it's all about character now.
Yep.
So it's like transcended.
Nick Gage is my favourite wrestler of all time.
Yeah.
I love Nick Gage. But yeah, there are a lot of people saying they're like, oh my god, he's getting a bit slower and that. You're like, he's done death matches for like 25 years. Like, give him a break.
Different stage in his career. You know? Yeah. Like for me, like wrestling's not about the moves or anything. Like Gage has aura, no matter what. He'll always have that. So I'll always want to see him work.
Yeah, exactly. What was I going to say? I'll move forward. Oh yeah, the last thing I was going to talk about is just your match with Tremont. We've kind of covered it anyway, but yeah, that was good because I mean you two were meant to be at fucking NHB 2.
Yeah.
And then was it pandemic? Yes, it was pandemic. That's why it was. Yeah, pandemic happened. I mean, I'm not wrestling, and I got paid 100% my wages, and I sat home and got drunk for like 2 years. My best friend literally lives about 3 minutes walk from my house. I quite enjoyed the pandemic, but I can imagine it'd be quite difficult for other people. But I can't say a bad thing about it. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah. But it was at the.
I had to work for it all.
Oh man, see that's the thing. Is like it makes me sound like a dick now because I'm like. But
no, fuck that, man.
It was
not hating on your hustle. I would have fucking loved to have been able to do that.
It was good. It was good. But then obviously I had to go back to work.
You don't get the time back, do you? You don't get the time. I'd much rather be fucking at home doing nothing than being at work doing something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the only thing. It's like when the pandemic and shit happened, like that was the main thing that made me want to even do anything on YouTube to do with death matches or anything. I didn't have any. I had all this free time, and I was like, I like fucking wrestling. I'll just do something, and then people started watching it, and I was like, oh, okay. But if it hadn't been for the pandemic, I probably would never have thought to do anything like that. So maybe it's a good thing. But yeah, but that match with Tremont was insane. It was really, really fucking good. Aside from fucking IWTV missed the first bit when you first before the slice and before you do the cannonball, you throw Tremont into the Tokyo Tower. That's completely missed off the footage.
Oh well.
But it's fine because I've rewatched that match a few times and I was like, is it my PC? Is it something wrong? No, but they missed that. It must just be like a glitch or something.
Maybe was it like kind of a jump start? Maybe they didn't know it was coming or.
I don't know, but it's like it completely like cuts and like the audio's on and the footage just cuts and then it's the next bit, but it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, so how so it would have been like 2 years for you to try and fight Tremont.
Yeah, and it fell through as well because obviously it was supposed to work in the first round of XPW.
Yeah, well, I remember he was like ill or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, something like that.
But then I've not seen him back in XPW since then.
No, I think there was some complication.
Well, that's the thing as well, is I remember watching Siglope, Medio Extremo were on. Was that Beautiful Disaster? Was that the same show you were on?
Yeah.
Siglope and that were on that show.
Alex Sloan was on that as well.
Yeah, Alex Sloan was on that, but like, I don't think, like, maybe it's just me, maybe they're just like, they're wrong bookings or whatever, but like, I assume that they might not be back in XPW, or if there's lots of different things like that. Like, I don't listen to that GCW podcast.
Probably busy because they're like GCW and
yeah.
tour like every weekend somewhere, don't they?
So much wrestling, man. That's one of the things I did like about the pandemic. I could watch 2 shows. NHB were running in a barn, GCW were running outside in a field, and that was it every month. And I was like, yeah, it was great. And now there's fucking GCW 2 and everybody. I'll get into that as well. But then I was just going to speak about the Outlaw Tournament, which I think's probably hands down been the best Rise show I've ever been to. Then again, I've only been to like 5 or 6. So what was your feelings about the Outlaw Tournament?
I would say that was the best deathmatch related show Rise have ever done.
Yeah.
I wish you would have got out there more. Like, Rise quite bad with getting their fucking footage out.
Yeah.
Like, it should have been like on an IWTV. Or
I don't know why it's not been on that yet.
Promoters allergic to money, mate. Especially as I went out, why don't people see that shit, right?
Yeah. I was there all day helping out Danny Douglas and his dad. They're lovely guys as well. The amount of effort and time and the amount of tubes that were at that show was fucking unreal. Because, I said that to them. I was like, are we not going to have to move those tubes? They're like, why? I was like, well, on the thing it says there's going to be seating on the tickets. It said there was seating, and I was like, oh yeah. So we had to move all the tubes and put them on the stage and everything. And then they had to build that fucking scaffold, and it was a fun day, but a long day. But then it was interesting, like speaking to you and speaking to Iceman, speaking to Cologne and all that shit. It was a really, really fun show. But I said to Danny Douglas, I was like, can I just go and like film stuff? He was like, yeah, just don't ask. It's Rise. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I was on the stage for the main event, just because I just kind of wandered over and no one said no. But it was interesting.
Yeah, Rise is good like that. I like that. Like punk atmosphere, just do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. That was, but that fucking tournament, so you were against Clint first. And you would have been at Clint slightly just before then for DOA.
Yeah, in the finals of that.
That was a good tournament as well.
That was a good tournament. I think that was TNT's best tournament by far. Like, no offense to their other tournaments, but they were pretty bad. You and
yeah, they were. I was at the one that RSP was on.
Not because of the guys in them, just because of the fucking. If it's deathmatch, it's deathmatch. That was more like hardcore, wasn't it? With maybe one deathmatch per tournament.
But yeah, I know what you mean. But you against fucking Cameron Solis was awesome.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that match.
A full-on match with him, like a planned one.
Yeah.
Not just a random tournament match. He is real good.
He is very, very good, man. And then I think it was you and Lou, and then you and Clint in the finals. And I was fucking screaming my heart. I was like at the very back. I don't know if you noticed where it was. Like when you were doing bumps or spots with Solace, I was like in this like abandoned DJ booth that was covered in like spiders' webs. Me and my girlfriend just like sat there because like I'm quite short and I couldn't fucking see anything because I didn't get VIP, which I think is kind of stupid. I think that their ticket prices are kind of like the VIP bits are like kind of like double or more like what the normal bits are, and it's like I don't know. But like we were sitting up in this little balcony thing, and I was sat there and kind of filmed some of it, and for you guys to come over. But I was expecting some bouncer to be like, yeah, go and fuck off, but they never. So it was good, but I enjoyed that. I'll be going to the next one.
Yeah.
I assume... Yeah, who's in it? Alley Catch, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, that's fucking good booking. Like, out of the box booking as well. Which is very smart, so...
Well, hopefully we get fucking you there, obviously, and we get some KCW guys again. Cause...
Yeah, it'd be nice to see, because the scene's so much better now, 4 years on than it was when they first started doing that shit. Like... So hopefully, like, you know, you see your likes of like Alton Thorne, Tom B.
Yeah, I mean that's I was saying that. I mean I don't know if anybody fucking listened to me. Why would they? But I was saying even just put first opening round Tom B, Alton Thorne, Antonio Gonzalez, KCW Showcase.
Yeah, fucking like Gonzalez as well.
Why not? You know what I mean? Just to get
at least like if some of the like newer guys to the scene aren't in the tournament, like just have like one non-tournament match. Just to put a spotlight on the scene.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
Get some guys from fucking eyes that wouldn't normally be on them.
Yeah, definitely, man. That was a good fucking tour. And then I was going to say, you wrestled B.A. Rose at the Outlaw, which was a great fucking match as well.
Yeah.
That I don't think they needed to have that scaffold there, though. I was seeing that there when they were building it, because they built it first, and it was the other side of the building, like the other side of the room. And it was just duct tape to this pole, and then they have to take it down and then move it back. And but I mean, he took a bump off it, but like I don't really think there was any need for it, like to be there.
I think if I recall when I was laying down, looking up, I think the scaffold it was going to break, wasn't it?
Yeah,
or something. Because I was looking at it because I think it was going to do something else, a different type of bump. Like maybe it was a senton. What did he actually hit on? It was like senton.
I think it was just a senton, yeah, something like that.
It was supposed to be something else, but like thank God he didn't do it because that would not have held his weight on the push.
No, it was because somebody was up. I don't know if it was Lee or James was up on the very top of it, and they were like standing on it, like bouncing on it. They were like, yeah, it's fine. And I was like, oh no, Jesus Christ, hope nobody goes up there because it looked a bit shady, but fuck it anyway. But and then the final was obviously you against Alex Colon, which I think was fucking amazing. I don't know how you didn't get severely hurt going through that contraption on the outside. That was scary.
I was severely hurt from that match, but not necessarily that contraption.
Oh, it was just watching them build that was quite a fascinating little spot. I was just standing in the afternoon with my beer watching them build this sort of like thing. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like a wine rack light tube thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was fucking a lot of glass. I think that's probably the most glass that's ever been used in one match in England.
100%. That's what other thing I was going to say to you is, so do you ever message people who are building shit? Dean's said for me purposely to say he wants to say hi to you. You remember? He said you'll be annoyed if I don't say that. Anyway, but do you ever like purposely like? Yeah. You sort of kick me in the balls if I don't. I was like, okay, that's fine. But do you ever in your head, are you like, right, I want to do this or I want to do that, and you basically ask them to get you shit, or do you just go and just see what's there and then?
I guess it's like a partnership sometimes. Like I don't really ask for things often.
Yeah.
That's like they'll come to me with ideas. I'm always down to do whatever. They'll just pitch an idea. Maybe sometimes you go back and forth. But for me, I'm just happy that people are helping. Because like, they didn't help. You have to think what the actual wrestling promoters would turn up with. It'd be like a fucking and a wet floor sign.
I mean, no, the Deathmatch Outlaws do a fucking lot. I have a lot of fucking respect for them. Especially they put me in their fucking magazine and asked me to help out and stuff. They're very nice fucking guys, and they do a lot for the deathmatch wrestling scene.
It would not be a scene, I don't think, if it went for those guys personally.
100%. Then what was I going to say? So we're going to talk about the upcoming Rise show, which is a week today. Now, a week today. So are you looking forward to that? I'm very, very excited for that fucking match. Can't fucking wait.
Yeah, I think I've seen the layout of the match. Looks fucking
yeah, so have I.
There's very rarely like 6-man tags with like the gimmicks that match is going to have, and the characters as well. Like Darwin's not a deathmatch guy. Like fucking, he legit hates deathmatch wrestling fans.
I would say that like
because some of them are probably correct when it comes to certain fans,
now, like without a shadow of a doubt, when I first got into Rise, and it might have been a promo with you and him, and it was the most I'd laughed in a fucking long time. It was where you and him are in a hotel, and he's dressed up as a maid and shit. Yeah. And like I was watching that, and I would, without a shadow of a doubt, I'd say he's probably the best promo in the UK by a fucking country mile. I think he's excellent. He's great. He's so good. But like I can't wait for that fucking match. Yeah, but the stuff he says about people makes me fucking laugh like fuck. But a lot of it's true as well, which I quite like.
It's true. That's like pointing out like the real dark side that no one wants to admit. Like you all kind of know certain bits of truth to certain people.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting match for him to be in, which I like. Being in interesting matches. You got like fucking Lou, who everyone knows can go.
Yeah.
And then you got Brett Sentex, who's never done anything like this.
Brett's a fucking a really, really good fucking wrestler as well. Because when
he doesn't need to be in this match. He does not need to be in this match at all. But I know he was a massive ECW mark and stuff. So you probably wouldn't want me saying that. So there's probably a bit of him that wants to do all this crazy shit.
Man, yeah. I mean, it was when I first saw him on one of the Rise shows. I can't remember what it was, and then Darwin came out and stuff. I was like, he could like easily be in fucking WWE if he keeps up at like what he's doing, because he's fucking great. 100%. He's really, really good. I've never had the chance to really speak to him at a show or anything, but I think he's really, really good. A lot of time for Brett Semtex. And then obviously you,
he's only been doing it about a year.
Yeah,
fucking mad.
But then it's obviously you, Caden and Darko against those guys, so that'll be fucking. It's gonna be a bloody fucking ridiculous match. Oh, it's gonna be ridiculous, man.
Fucking Rob Black sent me some vape pens when I was in the States to get me through the fucking hellish trip.
Oh, did he? That's nice of him.
Yeah,
see,
like, got sent to the Disney hotel, right? The fucking because of Ian, that got like all held up, right? The post got held up, so I went there and I was like, I got it delivered to this hotel. It's sent signed for. I know it's signed for by this lady. I know she definitely works here because she served me, and they said like it'd been sent for lost and found, right? Something. Fuck, I need it today. And I'm like, we can send it back to Brit. And I'm like, that was a gift. I really needed it for this holiday. Like,
yeah.
On thing. And it was like, how many in your party gave you 6 free meals, 6 free drinks, everything, and then got someone to hand deliver it to me.
That's so nice. So nice guy. That's, I mean, that man's got funny money, and like he runs, it's like extreme gifts and shit. So I assume, yeah. So I it's insane how much money he must have. But then he can't seem to get security to stop people attacking you with chairs, which is bizarre. What was I going to say?
Well,
yeah, but
that is security in California. They're not going to like. If there's security in Great Yarmouth, imagine how high the security in California would be.
Yeah, that's true. That is actually true. What was I going to say? Fucking that new building looks fucking nice for Rise. A building that's actually big. Makes a change.
Yeah, I'm nervous to the draw.
Supposedly, according to their Facebook, there's more than 70% of tickets sold.
I fucking hope so.
So I assume, so by looking at it, if it's apparently it's sold 600 people. Take away the ring and all that shit, say 500. So they've sold what 300 odd so far, if that's true. Yeah.
It's been such a long gap between shows. That's the problem.
Yep.
Like, to be fair, I didn't really want this match in this early on.
Yeah, me either.
You know, I don't know, but I'm not fucking the pencil man, so...
That's true. No, yeah, but it's been kind of... I was going to ask you about that, about the CCW stuff that kind of fucked up everything for a while. That was a pain in the fucking arse.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny and...
There's never a dull day in wrestling, is there?
No, there's always some sort of shite happening.
There's always some fucking doing something strawberry somewhere.
I couldn't believe
some
that.
Tin Pot that, you know, does something comical.
But it annoyed because the last...
What do you say to him?
I don't understand it, because it was just like the last Rise show would have been the family-friendly one that you and Alex Cologne did with the balloons after Outlaw Cup. I think. Yeah, that would have been
2 days later.
Yeah, that would have been the very last Rise show, and now it's fucking October.
That
was
when Alex tried to glass a kid.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. That was funny.
We don't mention that part.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, but the hopefully, like, I don't know. I want some weed whackers. Hopefully we'll get some. I mean, we got Darko taking some weed whackers. That's the review I did in that magazine. Was Darko against Cologne. I wasn't even there, but they asked me to review that match. I was like, okay, fair enough. But KCW have actually got things on IWTV, which is handy.
Yeah, that's good. That's what I fucking love about them. Like, they're on the ball with trying to get their product out.
Yeah, man, definitely. I mean, I was there...
And the promoters are really cool guys as well. They're
100%.
Like friends.
Yeah. They're, I think they're going... Matt and... I think Pat, his name is. Or they're going to Rise as well, so you'll probably see them there. Because they've got me a Kumite chair that I bought. They're going to bring to that. I don't know who signed it. I don't know what's on it, but yeah. But I remember the night before that Derby show where you were against Tommy, which was a fucking awesome match, by the way. I met them two the night before and met Callum Butcher and stuff, and we're drinking in that fucking, what's it called, Suds and Soda.
Yeah.
And I got lost going home. And then I got lost going home the night after, and fucking wandering around Derby for 2 hours on my own. Just like, what are you meant to do? I still got there in the end, but fuck it.
Adds to the story.
Oh yeah, it was good. Anyway, what I was going to say is for Games of Death 3 is going to be next year. Is that going to replace the Outlaw Tournament, do you think, or are they just going to move them round?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I guess it would just go Games of Death.
Then Outlaw Tournament in
maybe
November.
6 months to 8 months.
Yeah. Is there anybody that you'd want in it that you've not had in it?
Man, if I was booking and had like any say,
yeah,
I'd say like I just double down, just fucking invest to get someone like Kasai.
Oh god, oh, Jesus!
Just be like, fuck it, like you can make your money back if you hustle hard enough. Like charge premium tickets. People from Europe would probably travel for that. But
you charge me £100 a ticket to see Kasai. I'd pay £100 to see Kasai.
How much are flights to Japan? Like,
I don't think that they can't be that expensive. I mean, they've got.
He's never done it before, so
No.
you could maybe appease like that sort of mark in him to, I want to do this in England. You know,
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Well, I mean, at some point, I'd assume in the next year or two, you'll end up being in fucking Japan anyway.
I want to be.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Like, I couldn't stay long for like commitments at home.
Yeah.
But that's every wrestler's goal of Japan. You know,
Yeah.
to be paid to go over there.
Because speaking about NGI as well, the night after, you're at one of like a small building, but a famous building for Danny Havoc's Wisconsin Death Trip, which is a great show. You and Sakuda are there, so I don't know if you're gonna go against Sakuda on that show or what's happening, but that'll be an interesting show after the NGI.
Everyone will be fucking fucked.
Yeah. The thing is that building's tiny as well, but it's sort of like it's like a sort of Danny Havoc tribute thing in a way, I assume, because that's where the last Danny Havoc Wisconsin Deathmatch Trip was in like 2000 and fucking, I don't know when that was, 17, something like that. Anyway, what was I going to say? For Spooky Slam, I assume you'll be there. You're on the fucking poster.
Spooky Slam. There might be a complication of that. What was? What date's that?
The 28th of October.
That's Tournament of Death, I think. 28th, isn't it?
That's a good point. Actually, I'm going to check that
I
out.
think it's Tournament of Death because I need to be back in England for Halloween.
Yeah.
I need to be in the country for Halloween, so I think Spooky Slam's.
But that's quite funny because like you're the poster. Hey, wait, I'll try and find it on my phone. Wait, the beauty that is Cage Match, which is the best wrestling website in the world, by the way. If anybody doesn't go on Cage Match, it's very, very handy. Where are we? So, yeah, you're right. Yeah, the Tournament of Death's the day after that.
Oh,
the 29th. So.
Oh, maybe it's possible. I don't know, flight-wise. I've not got the flight through for TOD yet, so it might be possible.
That'll be for fucking. Speaking about TOD, that'll be an interesting fucking show. Is there anybody you'd want to go first against that you've not wrestled, or would you just rather do whatever?
I'm down for whatever, but it'd be cool. Like Mickey Knuckles would be cool.
Mickey Knuckles would be insane.
That'd be a cool match.
I want to see you against the Bev. He's probably one of my favourites in America.
Yeah, no, I think we'll have a bloodbath. We will fight each other at some point, I'm sure.
It's still, I mean, obviously it's like Tournament of Death's going to be at like Mark and Little Acres or the Ultraviolet Underground, whatever the fuck they're calling it. That's a big fucking deal to be there too. I know it's a field in the middle of fucking nowhere, but that's a very historic field in the middle of fucking Delaware. So plus it's going to be, you'll need to like wear like a jacket on top of your shirt because it'll be fucking cold, man. It'll be cold.
So much more when it's colder.
Oh, it'd be. Did you ever watch any of those like the very like tail end like ICW No Holds Barred shows when they're like in Florida and it's fucking freezing and there's just breaths coming in? You're like, oh, that can't be fun.
Yeah, that would not be fun at all.
Nah, but yeah, just remember to take a jacket when you go to TOD because that would be ridiculous. I was gonna say. Wait, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's the TNT fucking shows I was meant to fucking come to when my dad got fucking ill and I ended up being fucking here, which is kind of shitty. But I mean, he's okay, but stuff. So how was the TNT shit for GCW?
It was fucking awesome. It was really good because, like, for me personally, when I got there, and like Jimmy's like, "Oh, you know what's happening in our match tonight?" I'm like, no. He's like, "Oh, you're going over," and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." Like, that's what I thought was going over.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, they're going to announce you in the NGI," and I thought, well, it doesn't even matter now if I have a shit match. They can't take the NGI back. They made the graphic.
Did they even ask you? Did they even ask you if you were going, or they're just like, you're in the NGI, by the way?
Yeah. It's like, you want to do NGI, so
that's pretty cool.
So it's cool, like going into it, like my stress was high, but knowing like they're committed to the NGI before the weekender. Because if I was them, I'd have been like, after the weekend, we'll think about the NGI. You know?
Yeah.
Because I could have, like, the internet could have shit on me or.
I don't think. I think you're too over now that's not going to happen. To be honest, man. Like for
GCW's like a different crowd, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I was speaking to a couple
of the biggest indie in the world, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I mean, I was speaking to other people about that because I had tickets when they first announced it pre-pandemic to go to the Liverpool shows. If it hadn't been for Deathmatch Wrestling, GCW wouldn't be touring anywhere. In my opinion, I don't think they wouldn't be in Japan, they wouldn't be in Mexico, they wouldn't be in Liverpool if it wasn't for Deathmatch Wrestling. Which is why, to me, I felt like they could have done. I mean, obviously they had you and they had Drew Parker and various things like that, but I think that they were kind of like there was less of a focus on it because a lot of the matches, aside from Cologne and Drew, were all midway through the shows. If that makes sense. Yeah. But I mean, I did enjoy the shows. And I thought it was fucking awesome when you announced the NGI. But I thought there was going to be, I don't know, like 1 or 2 more death matches, but that's just me.
I think GCW's more kind of like, as it's become bigger, has become more sanitized in as such that it's going to have like certain shows where they're going to be very deathmatch heavy in like venues where they can get away with it.
Yeah.
When they're touring in, say, a different state with a different athletic commission, then they just go more with the sort of edgy sort of products type, you know? Maybe. I don't know.
It seemed like your 2 matches that you had, like that 6 tag thing was fucking ridiculous as well. I think that who won? I think Clint pinned John Wayne Murdoch, I think, in the second match. I think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah. But then I think did Clint get hurt or something? Because he was meant to be at Kumite and then he wasn't there.
I don't know. He took some big shots to the head that weekend. If I remember.
Oh right, yeah, maybe concussion or something.
Like the medic said he got banged up when they were talking to me. So
yeah,
it was that.
No, but I mean, it was fucking awesome to see everybody. So, any funny stories with Matt Cardona or anything?
He's an interesting dude. Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
He's very, very funny. Very, very funny. Probably the best death match of last year against sort of like any better judgment.
I would say very savvy when it comes to knowing what the internet crowd want to see and what they want to do against and stuff. Plays like that demographic down. A very intelligent guy.
Did you see his wedding? His other wedding?
Yes.
That was very fucking funny. I don't know why Maven was there, but it made me laugh. But that was
because he gets the insider references because he's like just as big a nerd as we are. So he knows the right things to book, and I think like it's almost that Brian Pillman-esque reinvention of himself. You know, not like the loose cannon shit.
I mean,
it's like he's totally reinvented himself and made himself relevant from being someone that kind of fell a bit down.
I mean, when I was like years and years ago watching WWE, I mean, obviously a lot of the times I didn't care about WWE, but like I would watch it if it's because a lot of my friends like wrestling. A lot of my friends don't like deathmatch wrestling, so like fuck them. I brought one of them to the Games of Death 2 and he seemed to enjoy it. But like most of them are like, but when I watched Matt Cardona or whatever his name was, Zack Ryder back then, I was like, eh. But now, like, he's like one of the best in the fucking indies by a mile.
100%. And like he's got like the body, he's got like the tenure in WWE as well. Fucking, I don't know how you can't really hate on it.
No, yeah, exactly. He's amazing. I was gonna say. Is there any like stipulations and stuff you wouldn't want to do if somebody just brings it up to you? Is there any like sort of gimmicks and stuff you would say, nah, fuck off type thing?
I think everything's got a time and a place.
Yeah.
Like, depends on the show. You know, like, am I going to get my ear nailed to a pub bench in front of 10 people? I don't know, probably not, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen that? The guy hits himself in the head with the hammer.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
That's so funny.
It's funny. You see those, there's that guy, JJ Allen does all those stunt shows. You ever seen all that shit? That's insane. I mean, he got his cock set on fire in fucking IWA or whatever it was.
Yeah. I met him at the gathering same year. So.
You see, he seems like a fucking fucked up guy, but he seems like he'd probably be like a decent guy to chat to.
Yeah, cool dude. Yeah, that's gimmicks wise. Yeah, everything has a time and a place. Depends who with. Doesn't make sense. Like I am like certain spots in matches it's been done to redundant now.
Yeah.
There's only so many ways I can put a needle through your cheek. Right? There's only so many ways. It's going to be duck, dive. Like
Yeah, I know what you mean. The
end result's always the same.
Yeah.
So, and if it's been done by 4 and 20 people, do I necessarily want to be the 21st? And not do that,
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I was going to say, so would you rather go into like a show or a tournament or say a match or whatever that's got a preset stipulation, or would you rather people just sort of do like what the GCW model is usually? Bring out tubes and glass, put them in the ring, and then just do what you want type thing. Because GCW don't really do stipulations.
No, but the guys know what they're working with.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
That's the worst, that you do a death match and it's like you don't know what you've got to work with. Because that can make it a bit more hectic and stuff. I kind of like the stipulations because there's more mileage out of it.
Yeah.
So, like, you could see me and you in a 10,000 tank match. And then 6 months down the line, we could do a different match and fans still interested in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Matches all over fuckery, then it's just going to be we're going to work each other again in the same stipulation. There's no hat on top of the hat.
Well, I mean, that's what I mean. Obviously, everybody hates Ian Rotten and all that sort of shit, but I did enjoy things like that in IWA, Deep South, and Trainwreck Wrestling, where they used to have different stipulations. Even if they were stupid stipulations and they didn't make any sense and they didn't work, they were still stipulations that kind of made every match different.
I think it's having a happy medium. Like, I think you can do both.
Yeah.
Like, you can definitely do both in the same promotion. Yeah, I kind of like it. Like, you can work different styles of matches. Like a barefoot thumbtack match is going to be totally different to a. Do you think you would? Light tube match.
Would you do a barefoot thumbtack match?
Yeah, I guess so. Right.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
I've done glass. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. I was just going to bring up like Kumite again for the sort of thing. Like, how did you get involved with those guys? Because I mean, they've only been running for a short time, but the shows I've seen and the show I've been to have been very, very good. Everybody there's fucking nice. All the guys are fucking great. There's been people that I'd never met or seen before in my life that I loved, like the Roughneck. He's fucking excellent. Like I was laughing my fucking head off in the crowd, like with him cutting promos on people and stuff. But yeah, how did you get involved with them?
Basically, Malachi, he used to do stuff with BWR, and I met him through like doing Rise shows. He started wanting to do a promotion and stuff, and that's how I knew him through Rise. We got on, like, we'd go out after shows and hang out and stuff. He wanted to do like a sort of deathmatch-esque over 18 sort of promotion, and he was like, I was like one of the first guys he called because like we're friends anyway, so. That's just how Kumite
yeah.
It's not like a...
No, I was going to say, so do you like doing no ring stuff? Or do you prefer it with like a bit more structure with the ring and things like that?
And you can do both.
Yeah.
I think from rewatchability standpoint, ring's always better. There's no ring, there is only so much you can do, especially like if you can't do flips and stuff. Like,
I suppose
it's just going to be walk and talk, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
And like, it's cool, and like, I don't think you can get a better live experience if you're live. A no-ring show in a punk bar, like, you can't beat that atmosphere. Like, it's the coolest. But from a rewatchability standpoint, I'd say you'd probably best do it in ring. I mean, Kumite can get the mix between both. You can do both, like, depending on the venue or whatever, and costs and stuff. Like, you can do both, I guess.
I mean, I would be happy for them to run the fucking Vines Beer Garden till the end of time, but it's October now and it's probably going to be cold as fuck, so exactly. I think they're running somewhere else. I can't remember where they said, but I think they've got a show coming out in November, I think.
They've got plans to do a show in November. I think they've got to lock down a venue date, get all the guys to, like, the stars for line.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I do like about Vines, which always pops me, is like, Tubes are just going over that fucking fence.
That's so fucking...
Poor old cunt could be walking her dog.
Yeah.
And the fucking tube just hits the dog, like...
It's a nice fucking bit. I remember when I first I took Tubes down for the show where it was you and Tomby on the main event, and I went past. There was like a guy with a bucket and loads of shit, and I was like, "Are you going to the KCW?" Because I walked right past it. Because if you don't know where it is, you go right past it. And I was like, yeah, they're going to the show, and then it took me like 5 minutes to notice. I was like, oh shit, that's Tomby, but he didn't have the gimmick on. I was like, all right, yeah. So no, I thought Kumite is really, really good. But they seem like you're saying, they seem like a lot more on the ball with stuff, with IWTV and things like that. Like that last match you guys had, the tag match is fucking insane.
Yeah, they got that up quick.
Yeah, it was really good.
Want it up as quick as possible.
I don't know where they get the names for them from. I don't understand where they get the names from. I don't get that, but it's fine. Just have to have a name for it. But did you enjoy that match? 'Cause I thought it was one of the best matches Kumite have done. Was you?
Yeah, well, I had fun.
Yeah.
I fucking loved doing Kumite.
Yeah, man, it's awesome.
It's good. I was glad to like do stuff with Gonzalez and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting those singles with him and Fawn at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
At some point. That was a good match, I think. I think the show was good because it didn't have too many death matches on. So
I think that was it. I think it was just you guys.
Less is more. There's no point having, in my opinion, too many death matches because it is law of diminishing returns. So.
Yeah, exactly. Unless it's a tournament.
Unless it's a what?
Unless it's a tournament.
Yeah, unless it's a tournament, but that's a gimmick specific sort of show. I don't know. I had fun. I think the crowd were into it, so
that's fine. What was I going to say? Before I was going to ask you, I will ask everybody this as well. Non-like wrestling shit. So favourite alcoholic drink. If there's if money and everything's no option whatsoever, what would you have?
Alcoholic drink. Like, I'm not sophisticated. Like,
neither am I.
Maybe like a snake bite in black. You know, with Ribena, blackcurrant.
Yep.
You've got money's no option, pal.
Money's no option. That's fine. Yeah. If you were gonna remember, we used to drink Frosty Jack cider and pour Ribena into that and drink it. You know, disgusting, horrible, garbage shit when you're younger. But that's fine. No, you're not into spirits or shit. It's mainly just beer.
Not really. No, I can drink vodka, like vodka, Red Bulls, orange juices, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm not a massive spirit drinker. Like, unless it tastes nice, I don't want to drink it. Like, I'd much rather a WKD Blue with a shot of vodka in it. and a slice of lime, something that tastes nice.
Fair enough. And then I was going to say, I don't know. That's the thing is, I've spoken to you like several times. I don't know if you've ever spoken about like movies or shit. Are you like a movie guy? Are you like a big like horror movie guy, or are you?
Probably any movie that you say I should have seen, I've not seen in the past. Like, I've not seen any superhero movies ever.
I don't get that. When I was
Harry Potter.
Neither did I, man.
There's no Goodfellas, Scarface. I've not seen any Matrix.
So was there any movies like you actually watched and enjoy, or was it like what would like if you're gonna pick something? Because when I was younger, and all the people who were like, there was like people who were considered nerds at fucking my school who like comic books and shit, and they got the shit kicked out of them and were bullied relentlessly. But now the people that used to bully them are sleeping outside the fucking Odeon to go and see the next Marvel movie, and it seems seems a bit strange to me. But no, if there was anything, what would you say?
See, I was always a wrestling nerd. But like, I mean, to like movies wise, like comedies,
like Freddy Got Fingered.
I want to laugh, you know, like.
Yeah, have you seen that?
See what?
Freddy Got Fingered.
Of course.
Yeah, see that's.
Danny, would you like some sausages?
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. That's one of those.
Got fingered. Like one of my favourite movies as a kid was like the one I've written most for blockbusters was like Happy Gilmore.
Oh yeah, exactly, yeah.
And then like as I get older, like more of a stoner, like watching TV series, like you know, like Workaholics or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, definitely, man.
More into their like music and stuff.
So what would you say? Like, there's like more bands and shit you're into now then, or is it more just like because the only sort of music I know that you're into is ICP, but I assume there's a lot more sort of fucking music that you're into than that. Because I've seen your big books of CDs. So
yeah, no, I'm like massively into like punk rock, pop punk, ska punk, all sorts of shit like that.
Anything you'd recommend?
I'm not sure what you're into. Are you into rock music?
Me, I before I got into wrestling, following about wrestling all the time, I used to listen to a band from Manchester called The Fall. You might have heard of them. And it's just basically a man in his 60s screaming nonsense over the top of like people in their 20s playing like heavy sort of bassy guitar repetitive beats. It's difficult to describe. I don't know. I listen to lots of like weird like sarcastic music. I don't know what sort of like name to give a genre to it for, but I listen to a lot of different stuff.
I pretty much listened to the same stuff I listened to when I was 14. You know, like bands like No Effects, Less Than Jay.
Yeah.
You know, Rise Against and fucking
man.
shit like fucking Goldfinger and stuff like that.
I remember Goldfinger and like Real Big Fish and shit like that.
Yeah.
I remember fucking when there was like P-Rock and Scuzz and all that sort of shit.
P-Rock was the best channel ever on Sky.
I was gonna see that you're the only person that remembers that. None of my friends remember P-Rock.
Can you remember bands like it made like English bands like Whitmore and fucking Gravel Trap, Soviet Alliance, King Prawn.
All this shit that was on P-Rock. And then it kind of died and went away. I don't even know. I don't have Sky anymore. I assume there's still Scuzz.
No, I think that's gone now.
Is that not gone as well? Because I just remember speaking to you like that before, about like my dad really liked Cradle of Filth. And picked me up from school in that fucking Jesus is a cunt t-shirt and stuff like that. My dad was in a lot of like black death metal and Cannibal Corpse and things like that, but I don't know.
And I think if you go on YouTube, you can still watch like 4 hours of P-Rock.
Compilations of P-Rock from years and years ago.
I'm pretty sure.
I remember there was like MTV2 would come on, and they used to have some good shit nightly. Did you ever listen to Aphex Twin?
I'm not a massive fan.
But that song "Come to Daddy" I always used to think was quite. They used to put it on like really, really late, and I'd be like, "Ooh, it's different than that." And then obviously like Kerrang, but the Kerrang was just shit anyway. Anyway.
Yeah, Kerrang was hard work.
Being young and being at school and shit, and coming home on a Saturday and SmackDown had finished, and you've got nothing to do all day, and you're just skipping through the music channels for hours, and it's just shit after shit.
Every now and then
you get one, exactly.
Can you remember Q channel?
Yes.
Q music channel. You get lucky sometimes and have some sort of good thing on there.
So do you like ska music then?
Yeah, like ska punk. You know.
Do you ever remember there used to be a song that's a terrible thing, and then I'll end it after this because do you remember there was a band called Zen Baseball Bat?
Yes.
And they had a song called Brown Cows of Elocution. Yeah, do you remember that? I'm so happy. Yeah, and it was. Oh my god, I can't believe somebody remembers that, because in my entire life no one else has remembered that apart from me. But I remember that used to come on, and I used to love that. And the album was called "I Am the Champion Cement Mixer," and it was just this random shitty ska song, and I was like, "That's fucking great." Thanks for.
Yeah, there was some real deep like ska punk stuff on that channel. It was so good.
It was like the same with like the wrestling channel as well. Like that used to be amazing, and then it just used to do repeats and repeats and
but
repeats.
It blew my mind seeing a honky tonk man shooting at you at 9 o'clock in the morning, or Sunny Hall or something like that.
My dad, like, he was like into wrestling when he was like younger, but he kind of like got out of it, and then obviously he liked it when like he used to watch like WWF Raw with me and stuff. But he used to, what was that name of that fucking? He used to got into really like Aja Kong. He used to watch all of her like All Japan women's matches and like sit there and like watch them all night and shit. But yeah, the wrestling channel was awesome because they had like Cage of Death and like there was like an hour like called The Bloodiest something or Blood and
Supercard Sunday.
Yeah, it was insane, and then it just went away. You're like, oh no.
That was such a golden age though, because it was just before just after tape trade, and the tape trade was still a thing.
Yeah.
Just before the internet, that you could like reliably stream stuff.
Did you ever go on the CZW messaging boards?
Yeah, I used to go on all those.
I never used to write anything, but I used to read loads of shit. Yeah, I used to. So it's like there's a guy called like Random Fan something, and I remember I used to like sit there and watch all the CZW stuff. It's terrible. But I was saying that to somebody else. I don't know if DJ Hyde's ever gonna message me back. But in 2005, I bought a Blackout t-shirt and they've never sent it. So maybe you should ask him and say where the.
I'll try to get you on the
No, but anyway, man, I'll go just now. But thanks for speaking to me tonight, man. I appreciate it.